has changed the world. Margaret W. Wong and Associates, with over 40 years experience in U.S. immigration law, keeps working for you in the midst of adversity. Offices are in Cleveland, New York, Memphis, Atlanta, Columbus, Raleigh, North Carolina, Nashville, Chicago, and Minneapolis. Look after your loved ones and we'll take care of your immigration needs. Please call us at 216-279-3984. That's 216-279-3984.
Hello, everybody. My name is Juan Carlos Brando. Thank you for joining us today at this time. I hope you're having a good lunchtime. And, well, you will be able to enjoy this show with us where Ms. Wong is going to be answering all the questions. So this is a Q&A show, and you will be able to join us, ask your question. The answer is absolutely free, and we will have this time so that you can learn a little bit more about the immigration field and what's going on in this particular time of the year, and at this particular time of this new government that started on January the 20th of this year, 2021. Ms. Wong, thank you so much for having us today. And, well, yesterday was the 100th day of the new administration with President Biden. And I saw some of the speech, very good achievements. But what do you think about the immigration field according to the speech last night?
Yes, I think for now, they're really trying to put immigration into the economic development, because immigration itself, the word itself, the copywriter, like immigration, foreign borns, it really doesn't drive with the temperament of the whole world or the country. Because if you look at all the countries now, and including America, everybody is not having enough vaccines. People are not getting, especially in India and it's quiet countries. But what we have some great news this morning, aside from the speeches last night, is U.S. Supreme Court this morning came up with a great case at about 11 o'clock, so we're still reviewing it, about what we call the 10-year cancellation, because the conversation really started months and months ago when one of the circuits are saying that if the notice to appear, which is the charging documents of a court case in the immigration world, have no date and time, because if you look at the lower left-hand corner, they should have the date that's issued and then the date you have to go to court. If that have no date and no time put on there, it doesn't matter what happened, you still preserve your 10-year. Remember how I always say, if you file paperwork now with court, you cut off your 10 years. So in the past 1 or 2 years, the conversation is, as long as I've been here 10 years, and as long as the notice to appear have no date and time, we should be able to go back to 10 years. And that's very important for a lot of us, because we have clients that's been here since in the 80s, the 90s. They did not apply for agricultural, ABC, registry. I mean, there's a lot of programs through the years to let people get work permits and green cards. So this morning's decision, it's awesome. So all the immigration lawyers and the paralegals and people who are interested in immigration are emailing each other, say huge, HUGE. So it's awesome. So we will be talking about this once I had a chance to review the case, because each practice is different. If you represent a lot of Chinese cases, normally we immediately file for asylum once we come into America. The NTA have date and time, because once you file for asylum, the case is referred to court, then the NTA probably normally have a date and time because it's an affirmative filing. But a lot of Latino people, normally they came in undocumented. And then if they did not volunteer on the line or were not stopped, now 20 years later, they're suddenly stopped and they never left, but the children are 21. So that's another issue. If the children is not 21 and there's no date and time, there may be something that immigration lawyers, especially in the removal deportation world, because there are three types of immigration lawyers. One type is more litigation, which is more what we do because we go to court and fight cases. We lose, but we also win. I mean, because you're really, I shouldn't say fighting the government, because you're really working with against the government. Years ago in immigration, is the DOJ, is the Department of Justice, actually it still is, the judges are paid from them. But through the years, it actually started under Obama. Immigration became more and more criminalized. That means they're really taking these litigation seriously. So it's for me, it's sort of fun because I see that history, I see, where the world is going, but for some young lawyers, it's just becoming very difficult and burnout and hardship and stuff. But this morning's news is really great news. And that's not from Biden's speech last night. I think it's just a timing. It just came out this morning because America is run by three branches. One is the executive branch, which is Biden. And it's so exciting to see Nancy Pelosi, Ms. Pelosi sitting there next to VP Harris, two women, actually dressed alike. Both of them have pearl neck. I love clothes. So you see them with pearl necklaces. I think one is more stone, one is pearls. So it's very much like a uniform. So now at least we have successful women that we can learn how to dress from, because there was a time that I used to work in a bank and I used to get fired from law firms. So we have to dress like gray and blue. And if you're pregnant, you don't show it, and we don't, nobody is showing. But now when I look at these two women, I say, oh my gosh, what good role models that women like us can imitate, wear the pearls, the suits. But this morning is awesome. And of course, last night is interesting. Yes.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. Yes, last night was very interesting. And what is going on this morning is really encouraging and make us hopeful about what is coming in the next few days, next few months. And hopefully we will have the comprehensive reform that you have mentioned in the past. And hopefully we will get some good answers about that. So somebody here is asking, I came to the United States through the border a couple years ago. It was in the mid of 2019. They let us in, and we have a court date coming up. My wife, my son, and me. My question is, should we go to this interview? We are waiting on asylum, but we never filed any document. What do we need to do? We really need help right now.
Number one, look at the case Mendez Rojas. Mendez Rojas say that if notice to appear, the NTA started after June 30th of 2016. And it doesn't matter when you come to America. If the notice and if you were stopped at the border or volunteered yourself at the border or were picked up by immigration within 48 hours, you may be entitled to Mendez Rojas, which specifically say you can make the 1 year argument that even though you didn't file asylum within a year, because immigration at that time did not advise you, you should file. This family came together with a young kid in 2019, was stopped at the border. That's what he said. He said they let us in. So I presume because they have a child, notice to appear is issued and they came. Now, because it's only 2019, the ruling this morning would not apply because remember, I just told you the ruling this morning only applied to people who came more than 10 years ago. So in this case, this morning didn't apply. Mendez Rojas probably apply, but you have not yet filed the asylum, which is a 589. So hurry up and file the asylum. 151 days later, you should be able to get a work permit if you join either CASA or ASAP. Those are the two organizations that if you join and it's free, you could get a work permit after 151 days after you receive I know it sounds complicated, but it's not. It's not rocket science. If I can learn it, people in this program could learn it. I did not graduate with high honors. I'm just a normal practicing lawyer who's struggling, just like we all are, in the world. So look at Mendez Rojas, file the 589, get yourself a good lawyer, but the lawyer should be practicing with asylum and litigation, not employment based, not those big law firms, because they don't. It's called nuance. You see, your game is to convince immigration you did not just bring a child just so you can come in. Your job is to convince immigration there is real fear, even though you missed your 1 year, but people did not advise you. You have to file within a year. Your job is to keep staying in America as long as you could with that work permit, so America can look at your case on your own and see if you be granted asylum, because you don't have 42B 10-year cancellation, you don't have adjustment of status, and you don't have 245I. So it's like playing the art of war and playing bridge. You look at the case and say, how could I do and what should I do? I made a decision to come to America illegally or undocumented. Now, how do I stay in America so I could file tax return, contribute to America, and get a work permit, and to work, but to pay my tax, and then go along with the program and get some justice for me and my family. And that's your job.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And don't forget the phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. Ms. Wong has been working on this field for over 40 years, and she has offices in 9 cities of the United States, in Atlanta, in Chicago, Columbus, Cleveland, Memphis, Minneapolis, Nashville, New York, and Raleigh, North Carolina. And the phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. We have a next question. Hi, Ms. Wong. Good afternoon. I was in your office in 2018. That time you told me about my status. Once my daughter born in April, then I have to come back to see you, but I can make it. So my question is, my daughter is 3 years old. She was born here. So based on her, can I file anything as now? Because right now, me and my family have no status.
Okay, so this question is, when did you come to America? Do you have any other family members that have green card or citizen? Because 2018 is where the former president was really, really tough. So I delayed a lot of cases, hoping the environment was better, because whatever I do, my job is three. Number one, protect you with legal status in America. As you know, we all made conscious decision of coming to America and strive and became who we are and protect our children a good life. So now in 2018, we see, I don't know, but we see so many people. So I don't know your case as well as I should, and I'm very sorry. But normally the few reasons why I always tell people that at that time I may not be able to help you, because I don't want to put you in harm's way. Because whatever I file, not only sometimes couldn't I get you the work permit, I may even get you deported, which is really not nice, right? So for now, you're saying that now you have a 3-year daughter, but the daughter couldn't talk yet. And it has to be another 18 years for the kid to be 21. So I presume if you came to America legally, if the kid is 21, then you could have her sponsor you to get a green card. But not knowing when you came to America, how did you come to America? Did you ever leave and come back? And also, you probably were not stopped in the border, because you were stopped or volunteered on the line. I would not have told you to not file anything, because then the 1-year rule kick in. So it depends on your situation. I would love to answer your question more, but just my general knowledge is, if I tell you, don't do something at that time. That was a very bad time, because the former president became president in 2017, January, and by 2018, it was really bad. And then by the end of the case he was losing, and he know he was losing, it was really bad. So it depends on timing also.
Okay, I'm sorry. So this is a time that I think some things are going better. So if you have any question now, Ms. Wong is answering that question free on this Facebook Live. So please feel free to ask her this next question in the immigration field. Ms. Wong, somebody's asking us here about the U visa. Any U visa update?
No, I'm sorry. There's no U visa update. They're still only approving cases filed in October and November of 2015. I've seen some movement in the beginning of 2016, but right now it's like somehow it stopped. I guess they're waiting for additional numbers or something. So what we need to pray and to push Vice President Harris to do is not so much to approve or deny cases, to adjudicate cases, is to really at least look at the 2-year work. See, sometimes you have to ask, you have to know how to ask and what you're asking. Don't ask for the mountain. You're not going to get it. You know what I'm saying? Because already Biden yesterday's speech was very it's trying to please everybody. It's not just our people, because our people is only 11 million to 15 million. So what we need to ask for is not so much to give us additional numbers, because that would be up to legislature to give additional numbers, because that's the law. What we need to ask Vice President is at least give us the number 14 and number 15 work permit when bona fideness is accepted and they know they're going to sort of grant. I mean, nobody's 100%, maybe 95% grant. So at least they can get us work permit waiting for the final approval. Because instead of us asking, give us more numbers now, hurry up and approve, they're not going to do it. I mean, the Trump people are still there. They couldn't do it. You know, these are too big people for us. We are like the little mouse down in the pecking order. And these people are big people. They're more worried about the virus, the big money, the banks, the bankruptcies. They don't care about us. We're just foreign people. So we have to know where we stand, but ask for a lot, but we know how to negotiate. And Vice President Harris have some really good staff members, because I met them. I sort of kissed up to them. Some of those people who were on DACA, headed the DACA people when they were very young, worked for Harris. So those are the people we want to get to and push the agenda.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And this is a very good answer. For your information, Ms. Wong has offices in 9 cities of the United States. She has been working on this immigration field for over 40 years. And the phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. But you can ask your question free right now that we are live on Facebook. So next question, Ms. Wong, is coming from a person that doesn't want to show the identity. She says, I escaped from my country. I came through Canada, and then I stayed here in the United States. I am a female, and when I came here, I did it because in my country there is FGM, and I don't want to go through that. Also, I cannot choose who my husband will be. Could I file for asylum because of this situation? I came over 6 years ago.
Okay. I feel bad for you. Number one, because you came undocumented. You were never stopped or volunteered at the border. So Rojas Mendez does not apply to you because you were not stopped. All right. So it's like playing bridge, replicated. Number two, you've been here only 6 years. So 10-year cancellation will not apply to you. So forget about the new law this morning because it doesn't apply to you. Number three, you came from Canada. I presume somehow you walked over or used a phony passport. Anybody who walked over or used a phony passport, if you have grandparents or parents who have cases filed or were citizens or green cards before April of 2001, there's a last time 245I is extended 3 times in November of 2017, January 14th of 2018, and December 2000 expiring in April 30th of 2001. That's when President Fox and Bush met, and then Homeland Security came. It was horrible. So you also don't apply there because it seemed like you're the first, and you're my hero. You're the first one who came to America with no, you just came, right? Because to avoid genital female mutilation. So you probably came from, we do a lot of those cases. And actually, my good friend, Judge Paul Schmidt, is the one who wrote that opinion, because there was a time that only Chinese could go on one-child policy, sterilization, forced abortion. The African countries cannot do it. Judge Paul Schmidt, who have since retired, who used to work for Jones Day and a work of Fragment, and then became a judge and became the head of the judge court. I mean, when I say the head, the chief judge, and then worked for the BIA, and then became a judge again. He just loved his job. I mean, he's such a good guy, so smart. You know, he may not be a very good guy because he's a good lawyer, he's a good judge. So these are people who are very fair. They're not going to go on your side, or they're not going to go on the government's. They just want what the law says, right? And so in your case, you probably came from an African country, because most African countries, depending on your tribe, and you need to prove your mother had it, or your children have it, or your auntie have it, because otherwise, why do you know you have it? I mean, or you would have been threatened by it, which means that you were not hurt. But it's also the subjective perception of the fear of genital mutilation. So it's not a bad case. We have to explain why we didn't file within 1 year of entry. And we have clients who ask me, how did they know I came? You know, I can tell them I just came last week. Oh, well, they know this is Homeland Security. So let's not misrepresent, and it's not too nice to lie. Because once we lie, they start lying back to us. You're facing the government. You're not facing a dingy, little Margaret Wong. You're facing the government, and we need to be fair about this. We play fair and they'll play fair. It's like reactive and proactive, all right? So it's not a bad case. You just have to have the story, what happened, how many people, what tribe you are, Google your house so you know. And did you go to England? Because a lot of my African clients, they did go somewhere before they come. Did you get their passports or something? But if you're never there, how did you get a visa, go to Canada, come to? So these are all things that we need to know, but it's not a bad case.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And actually, we have a very interesting question coming in right now, but don't forget the phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. And this next question says, I came to the United States a long time ago. It was around the 20s. And this person says that he went to court and he has been using a work permit since 2013. The last work permit he got was in 2019, but he had a decision in 2015 where he was his case was closed, but he has been renewing his work permit, which is a C10 work permit. He wants to know if he can renew it because it's already expired on 2021, but in the court system it says that the judge made a decision, but it doesn't say what kind of decision.
Okay, this is a very good question. C10 is the 10-year cancellation, is 42B, all right? So your lawyer have filed a 42B, and you have gotten C10 is only a 1-year work permit versus asylum is 2-year work permit. Asylum is C8, and green card pending is C9, all right? So you have a C10, number one. Number two is you had been admin closed, which means that when Obama was, I hate to keep using these presidents. I mean, it's not, I know they're big people, they rule the country, but it's their policy. So under Bush and also Obama, the judges are allowed to admin close the case. That means the status quo. That means we don't have to go to court, so we don't get a removal order, but we also cannot get our green card. And also we cannot final adjudicate the case, but at least you can protect your work permit. But at first you say your work permit expired in 2019, and then you say somehow it expired in 2021, and the judge made a decision, and you don't know what it is. I don't know who was your lawyer. Normally, because I'm a lawyer, so I would have called the court or called I mean, I'm the lawyer, so I don't need to call another lawyer, but I would call your lawyer and see if they had inadvertently sent a hearing notice. Because when Trump came in, your case was admin closed in 2013. Trump became president in 2017 until early this year. So Trump's job is he wants to reopen all these admin closed decisions and retry them. So some of these cases, and the government is smart, unlike in the olden days, like when Judge Schmidt was there, when he, do all this matter of JJ, this FM Jam case, this what's fair or what's right. As years go on, when we have different presidents, it became more political place. So in your case, my question is, maybe there was a final order of removal, but you didn't get the hearing notice, so it was removed. But I would not presume that, because the notice would have said admin decision, not admin close. But if they say already have made a decision, you need to hear it or read it and see if it's admin decision, which means it's admin close, or final decision of removal, which means that you cannot get a work permit unless you have 30 days to appeal. So I would ask your lawyer that, because these are really legal questions. But if not, apply for that work permit. You can still apply 6 months prior to the expiration of the C-10 and applied as if last time. Now, lately, because of Trump, but Biden's here now, Trump wants the stamp out of 42B. So a lot of times, younger lawyers, they'll file it with the court, but they only get the cover letter stamp. That's why I always remind my filing people, did you get my 42B stamp? Because if you get the 42B stamp, that's like 99% you get it. It's just nuance in immigration. But if you only do the stamp the cover letter and not, sometimes lawyers are busy, they stamp it. Stamp means it's a filing, all right? Every day we have our filing people go to court every day. And sometimes I ask them, how many cases do we file today? And stuff like that. So in your case, I won't despair. Probably it's not reopened after 2013. Keep filing that work permit. And if you already still have it till 2021, which is now, file it. Because they will tell you if it's denied. I don't think it's denied, because they normally give one notice to you, and anytime you change the address, you need to do two change of address. You need to do a change of address on E33 and also on the AR11 in the web. All right, so I would do both, but you should double check your lawyer. You had a lawyer in 2013 to close the case for you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. Actually, this person is sending the last part of the question and says that he wants to know if he can do the green card because his daughter is under 18. She was born here, and she has a special situation with her health.
Absolutely.
She has a special condition. So could he file the...
Yes. She may, no, it's already filed. That's how he got a C-10. Depends on what kind of special condition, depends on what state. Like Atlanta is known to, if you have autism, they do nothing as a special condition. Don't ask me why. That's how they think, and we're fighting it. It depends on what state they are, who is the judge, because it should go back to new judge, but a lot of judges have retired recently because they're just sick of the practice. So see who's the judge, what state he's in, make a decision, do you want to reopen? It's a risk. It's like buying Apple stocks versus IBM stock, right? The risk of reopening your case, if the government did not reopen it, you only reopen it to win the case, because they're not going to give you a second chance to reclose the case again. You don't reopen, at least get work permit, protect yourself. But the kid is already 18. If you don't reopen, because even if you reopen, it takes them a year to hear it, the kid will be 19. Once they're 21, you lose that qualifying relative, then you have nobody if they're younger. And also, if she's really sick, that really helps. Sick kids really help us. And make sure you file tax return all those years. Don't put like 10 kids on there, as even though at one time it's legal, now it's no longer legal. The judges don't understand that, because these are American judges. They don't understand what's legal at one time to keep a lot of kids, even though they're still in Mexico and Guatemala and stuff like that. So make sure everything is perfect. Make sure the address on your driver's license, since you have the work permit and social, is the same as the address you put on because sometimes, we're smart. So you say you live somewhere, but then you're actually not living there. So the judge will see the driver and say, hey, what are you doing, lying to me? And that goes down a hill. So make sure everything is right before you decide to reopen the case.
Thank you.
You're doing it to win, to get yourself a green card. And this is serious business. It's not like, let me try this. I have some clients say, no problem, I trust you. Let's do that. I say, stop. It's not a matter of trust. It's a matter of this is your life. That's why we came to America. That's why we suffer so much. And in your case, it's worse. Your child is sick.
Yeah, that's awesome, Ms. Wong. Thank you so much for clarifying all these situations. And thank you so much for your answers. Our time is up, Ms. Wong. So thank you so much. See you next Wednesday with the show in Spanish or translated to Spanish. And keep doing the good work, is what people say on the Facebook and all the social media. So thank you so much, Ms. Wong.
Thank you.
And for everybody who joined us today, thank you so much. And please don't forget to call 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. Margaret W. Wong and Associates, she has been working in this field for over 40 years. So please don't forget to call 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. And see you next time here in this channel, is Facebook page of Margaret W. Wong and Associates.
This pandemic has changed the world. Margaret W. Wong and Associates, with over 40 years experience in U.S. immigration law, keeps working for you in the midst of adversity. Offices are in Cleveland, New York, Memphis, Atlanta, Columbus, Raleigh, North Carolina, Nashville, Chicago, and Minneapolis. Look after your loved ones and we'll take care of your immigration needs. Please call us at 216-279-3984. That's 216-279-3984.